It is official. Building time is finished. It is time to see your projects and share like your catapult today. James is here. He's going to be leading our wrap up, but this is really your wrap up. So teachers, turn those cameras on. Get to the keyboard. Tell us what groups want to share. We want to see what you guys have created today. So I'm going to stop and let James start leading this wrap up. But while James is speaking and introducing the wrap up, I'm going to keep an eye out. I see North Fork looks like they're getting ready. Miami Springs looks like they're getting ready. So let's see who's ready. James, what did you see in that breakout room? I wasn't in there with you.
We saw some really amazing designs this morning. We saw catapults with all kinds of different designs, parameters. We've been keeping a running tally of who's got the longest distance. Right now, it's a tie of 26 feet, but in the chat, you can share the furthest distance your class got. We also want to know if you were able to get a machine learning model to have some predictable distances from your catapults. But if your school is ready to present, you can show us your catapult in action and then tell us what parameter you varied for your model.
Oh, I see a hand up. Sorry, James. We got somebody ready to roll. Norfolk. Awesome. Let's spotlight you for everybody. And you guys can unmute now because it's your turn.
Hi, y'all.
Hey.
Hi. So who's going first?
Camera
Going first. Who's going first?
No, I'm not saying.
I say whoever's catapult's on the table. There it goes.
Deshaun, start it up.
Feel free to go ahead. Yeah.
He's gonna fail. It's camera side. It's camera side. Deshaun, if you need more, I have like 3.
Oh.
All right.
Yes.
It's a good distance on there. Excellent design.
All right.
Who's next? Oh, I might as well.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, here. No, I'm not throwing.
A nice triangular base design there. Looks nice and sturdy.
Throwing that.
Okay.
Meow.
Wow. Look at those. Those are great distances. Did you guys record like your max distance or anything like that?
Yeah.
We're just too awesome to do that. Sorry, we didn't have time.
Yeah,
Of
bro.
course, yeah.
All right, mine. Bro.
I like mine.
Next one up. Yeah. I like the design of the cradles too. Really.
There you go.
All right, no, yeah, epic. All right. Cool.
No.
On the table.
Oh.
I have to. Do I have to put it on the table?
Yeah.
It'll make it easier for you, but
No, it's easier for me to hold it. It's meant to shoot at people, so. All right.
yep, feel free to go.
Let's go. Oh.
Oh, wow. Some great distance on that one.
Yeah.
Very nice height.
And
Well,
so for the machine learning aspect, if you guys haven't gotten this far, that's fine. What were you thinking about changing? Like what parameter?
Well.
Oh, yeah, another one. Great. Nice slingshot design there. It's our first one that uses the rubber band as the launch mechanism.
Yeah.
oh, we got another one.
Wow. Another cradle. Good distance on there. Nice base. These are some really sturdy looking designs too. So
I don't know who that is.
Fantastic job, Norfolk. I see we have some other schools. Unless somebody wants to come and chat with us, we have some other schools that have their hands raised. But thank you for being our first volunteer.
Not here.
All right. We are going to go to Girls Global Academy.
oh,
Can you guys unmute so we
got
can
a
hear
bunch
you?
set up. Oh wow, look at this.
And I call him brother.
Is that a petite thing?
Why don't you?
Hi. Oh, look at this. How many? 4 of them, or do you see 5?
Looks yeah, 5.
5.
All right.
Are we gonna do? Who's going first?
Another one too. 6 now.
Oh.
Okay. Nice and efficient. You like it.
All right.
Let's go. Good vertical height, good distance too. Looks like a few feet. Okay. Awesome. Next one on up. Right. Very
Nice.
nice.
Yes, Betsy put in chat how they are so prepared with multiple
yeah.
launches ready in a row. We love it. Good job, Girls Global Academy. Let's see.
Oh wow. That one, my friend, that was really might be our longest one yet for this class. Yeah, next one, go right ahead. Woohoo. All right.
A lot of height.
A lot of height.
A lot of
A
height.
little bit of distance though. Heading in the right direction. Okay, yeah.
Very nice job.
Very nice.
Great
Awesome.
job. All right. We have Anthony Akers up next. Thank you, Girls Global Academy. All right, Anthony Akers, you guys ready? They're coming on up.
Hi, guys. Can you? Here.
Go!
Right.
Yep.
Yo, what up, guys? So we got the picnic table, like a SpongeBob claw.
Oh, I like the claw design.
And then I pull it back, and then
Very nice.
yeah. It's pretty sick, Bob.
Nice long arm on that one.
Yes.
A nice basket.
Yeah, it gives him more reach.
We get a launch.
Yeah.
Are you gonna launch it for
Parka.
us?
Yeah, let's launch it.
All right, guys. I got it. Hey, don't launch it at me. I hate you. It's so terrible.
Nice. Good distance on that.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you. All right, we have a bunch of schools with their hands raised. So we're going to Salesian next. Salesian, are you ready?
Yeah, we got it.
Hi, Salesian. Let's see what you got. You guys had your hand raised. Did I?
Oh, I see one. Here we go. Another nice long arm design. See it in action.
Let's see.
I love the different types of catapults we're seeing here. A lot of variety here. All right. Okay. Good distance. Across the table. I see another one being raised up to the camera. You want to
We got
demonstrate real
multiple.
quick?
Yes. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh.
See another one in the back.
I think they're getting ready to launch this one on the table.
Yeah. Oh, here.
They're
Yeah.
swapping it out. Going with
Okay.
a different model. Here we go.
Nice large base. Nice and stable. See what the launch looks like. All right. That's nice distance.
Very nice.
Several feet there. All right. Awesome.
Great job,
Great job.
Salesian. All right, Thomas County is up next. Thomas County, are you guys ready?
All right. Let me just put this down. So this is our design. Is it visible? Yeah. My design. I kind of looked at the diagrams in the slideshow and went with the most simple one.
Simple.
And I don't know how far it can go because every time I test it, it just hits the ceiling.
Great vertical distance.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see it in action if you don't mind.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. Put the camera. Yeah. There we go.
All right. You're on camera. Like,
Oh.
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 Try again.
Second attempt. Here we go.
oh, Justin, what happened?
Third time's gonna be the charm.
Maybe throw one. Yeah.
Third time.
Can you hold the front down? Just like push down like this.
Teamwork.
There you go.
More nice dirty work. It's not fault.
Oh.
Yeah.
Camera shy.
Camera.
See? There we go.
There we go.
Yes. Successful
Okay.
launch. It went far.
That was good.
Did it hit the ceiling?
All right. Good job.
Great job, Thomas County.
Great job. Yeah. Nice design.
All right, we're going to the next one with their hand raised. Are you guys ready? I'm going to Fonda Senior High School. Hi, gentlemen. Who's sharing? Who's coming up to share with us?
Hi, we got a group. Go on the
All
cart.
right.
We got some distance.
All right.
All
Let's
right,
see
let's see it.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
Very
can we-
nice.
See a little closer to the camera, the design itself.
Can you bring your catapult up to the camera so we can see it?
Oh, there we go. Nice design.
Mostly rubber bands
Mhm.
to stop the spoon from launching out and just to get leverage. For
Yeah,
launching.
good. Glad to see a stop. That was mentioned in the slides, like something to stop the arm too. Good job there using the rubber bands with their elasticity. Very smart. Very smart.
Do you have another group? Nope, they muted. They're ready. All right, we're gonna go to the
Ready.
next group, which is Ursuline, the Ursuline School. in New Rochelle. All right, let's see. Ladies, come on up.
So this is our catapult. It's not very fancy, but it works, and it's like handheld. It's not a place down handheld. So
Got a few handheld designs today. That's fun.
what? Wait, I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
No, we have a few handheld designs today.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of different things, but none of them really worked. This is what worked the best.
Sometimes simple is best. Yeah,
Yep.
let's see it in action.
You want to hold it? Yeah. Okay. Where'd we go? Yeah, it's there. There you go. Oh, of course.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It's some serious distance. Okay.
very nice. Is there another group that wants to share from Ursuline? No? Well, great job, ladies. We are going to head to Dobbins High School. They have their hand raised. Oh, I
Wow. Got another setup.
another
Ready to go.
setup of multiple catapults. Is somebody going to come and chat with us? Oh, all right. Nobody there. Oh, there they go. I hear them.
Right here.
All right, here you go. All right, so today, my friend will be demonstrating these catapults. Go ahead, Zaya, show me some.
I think,
Oh, wait. Yeah, camera not even on the catapult.
yeah, I think
Yo,
we're the wrong camera.
oh, it's that. It's the one the district been lighting, so. Hold on.
All right, Dobbin, we will come back to you. Middle College is up next. We'll wait for Dobbin to get their camera situation figured out. Hi, Middle College. How are you?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. Let's see what you guys got. Oh, I see them. There's 4 of them.
Oh, yeah. It's the lights.
Yeah. They're
That
all right.
works. If
That
it stays that
works.
way, we're good.
That works.
We have 4 catapults. The 2 that has the balls in them are the best. The other 2 are our prototypes that we were trying to practice to see which has the best distance. So, if anyone in class like to test you do one and you do the other. Which one I'm doing? The orange one. I need a golf one. They already. No, not the last.
Great distance.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, and then this is the second one.
Yes.
Awesome. 2 good, really good distance. I love how you use the prototypes too. Little iterative design process.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miami Springs, you're up. Let me place the spotlight. Miami Springs. Hi, everybody.
Hello. What's up? Hey, dude.
Oh.
Nice.
No.
So, sir. You guys see there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
It was a little bright, but see the distance it went. Oh, wow. Got some good height on it and some distance. Awesome.
Wait, those are wait, the groups.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Almost knocked somebody out.
Got a whole bunch of designs. All right. Great work.
Do we have one more? Oh, they're waiting for.
We need the ball.
Amy.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Good
Very
height
nice.
and distance on that one. Awesome. Great
Oh,
work.
look at this one. Looks like a little bit of a different design.
Oh, yeah. Fancy.
Oh,
We got some distance on it. Good.
all right.
Oh, another nice one. Lots of triangles today. We like that. Got lost in the white
Yeah,
table. It looked like it
couldn't
went.
see it. Yes.
It looked like it went a good distance horizontally. Oh,
Oh,
wow. That had height and distance. All right. More.
all right.
Hey, good. Great job.
They got a lot of catapults in this classroom.
Oh, here's another.
Here we go.
And they're all different too, which I love to see.
Let's see. Oh,
All right, nice.
very nice. I think Dobbin, thank you so much, Miami. And we're going ahead to Dobbins. I think they got their camera situation fixed. Dobbin. Dobbin High School. Can you? All right.
Yeah, how y'all doing today?
We're doing well. Look at all these catapults you guys got there.
That's a couple of them. All right, my friend here is gonna show you his first one. Go ahead,
All right.
That's not bad.
Good distance on that one. Nice. Nice.
Next one. The next one.
Yeah.
Electronics.
Good vertical height on that one.
Here, catch up. One more. One more. And then we're done here.
Same.
You got it?
Show them what we were testing.
Oh, we have the rubber band on the bottom of the spoon too. That's a new design. Very cool. Oh, wow. Okay. Good vertical height on that. Very nice.
Yeah, we're testing what with
Different tensions.
the different tension with rubber bands.
Oh, that's really good.
This
Awesome.
is mine. I got the best one.
That did go the furthest. Yes.
Yeah, I did go to furthest. Yes, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have Ralph McKee in Staten Island that wants to share. So I'm going to replace the spotlight. Ralph McKee, you guys ready?
Yep, we're ready.
All right.
You have your go get your catapult.
All right.
All right, so wait, I said my name, right?
Yeah.
Or not? All right, my name is Tyree Spencer. At first, I didn't have that much rubber bands, so I added more for more like height, and I added this part so I could have it stop, so you get even more higher.
Very good.
What's that so good?
All right, let's take a look. It's a really good design.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Hit the ceiling, but we had
interference.
that had some good distance on it though, even then.
Justin, you want to go? We'll explain your design.
My name's Justin Flores. This is my design.
Very nice.
Simple, small.
Yeah.
Yep.
Simple's great too. Let's see what it does.
We've seen a lot of success with simple designs, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Another vertical height, but a little bit of interference from the classroom, but that also is a good launch. So
thank you.
Very nice.
Very well done.
All right.
Excellent.
Duval has their hand up and they turned on their camera. I think they are ready. Thanks so much, Ralph McKee. And Duval, you guys ready?
Yes, so we have two. This is Kevin.
Yeah, hi. And my name is Kevin, and this is my catapult design. For the model, what I was doing is, so there's these rubber bands here. I originally started off with one rubber band, and I just kept on adding rubber bands and measuring. This is at 10 rubber bands now. They got one rubber band, the ball barely went anywhere, but at 10 rubber bands, let me show you.
All right, let's see it. All right. You weren't kidding. That has some serious distance on it. Good job.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, so we've had a few groups today using
Great
rubber
job.
bands as their variable.
Thank you, Duval. All right. Academy of Mount St. Ursula. They say they are ready. They turned on their camera and we're going to see what are the Lady Bears up to. You have to unmute so we can hear you.
You got it. You got it, my heart.
You're me. It's oh. Are we? Yes,
We can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, so we did this, and then we made like a little basket on the thing, and then it's like, I don't know. Just so. Oh God.
Love the basket.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's see.
Let's do
Go
it.
ahead. Nice. Yay, there we go. Very nice.
Do we have an they muted. They're done.
Okay.
They're okay. And we have another group from Anthony Akers that wants to share. You guys ready? Yes? All right. Oh, now we can hear you.
Yep.
Hey, this is my design.
Cool. Like the
Very
triangle.
nice.
Yeah. It is a bit feral. It will smack you in the face if you get too close, but
All right.
it is a butt to load.
Oh, wow.
Ceiling.
Got some height and distance on that. Great job.
Very nice. Thank you for waiting. All right. Do you have another group? Do you want to have another one that wants to share?
Yeah.
I
Go
see
ahead.
somebody else. Come on up.
Yeah.
This is our design.
Name's Jimmy.
Oh, I guess its name's Jimmy.
See Jimmy in action.
I hate your butt.
Nice.
My earbud is connected.
Good distance and height on that one. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't see any other hands that are raised, so I'm going to, if you would like to share, please just raise your hand. We'll put the spotlight on you so we can see what you created. So James, I think it's up to you now.
All right. Well, we've had quite a day and we're very excited about this lab. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the end, but we have a little bit more for you. So we do want to share just a couple of things. One is to get rid of these floating meeting controls. Think about how career pathways in machine learning. So you may have, seen this lab and might be really interested now in machine learning and computer science and AI and be thinking, how can I get involved? There are a couple of different ways. So one of them is the standard four-year college and university. Most people who work in this field have degrees in computer science, but others have degrees in electrical engineering, computer engineering, and that would typically be a four-year college or university position. And then some people also get a master's degree. So master's degree is beyond the bachelor's degree, which is the standard 4 years. You get a little bit more education. You take it a bit further, and you get more specialized. And some of those programs allow you to specialize in things like IT or artificial intelligence. There's sometimes, especially these days, master's programs specifically in machine learning or artificial intelligence. And so you could get that master's degree after your bachelor's. And some schools even offer kind of a 5-year program where you could get your bachelor's and your master's at the same school in just 5 years. And so that's something to think about. But there are also non-university. If college isn't for you, there are other ways that you can get involved with the machine learning and AI revolution. You can go to a 2-year post-high school program and get a certification or associate degree from a community college, where you can get more of a general coding degree. And you could go into a general coding field. You could eventually take that to the college level later, or you could go straight into the workforce. And also there are just post-high school opportunities in entry-level IT and online program certifications as well. There are online boot camps for coding. There are also great ways to get involved. And IT programs don't always require you to have a full computer science degree. So these are just some things to think about. And if you're thinking of the engineering route, there are a lot of different companies that are looking for interns out there. These are some of the big boys who work with computer science, artificial intelligence, Microsoft, Apple, Google, several government agencies, Amazon. These are just some of them. These are companies that offer lots of internships. So if you're interested in internships, these are some of the places that you can start looking, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. The other thing to think about is organizations. So these are organizations that if you went to college, these are organizations that you might find that would have a chapter on your college's campus. The National Society of Black Engineers, IEEE, which is the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, which I'm part of. There's a Society of Manufacturing Engineers. Girls Who Code is an organization for women in STEM. SWE, Society of Women Engineers, also for women in STEM. These are professional organizations that you can get involved in that can have networking and mentorship opportunities for you, where you can meet, people in your field, especially if you're from an underrepresented group, people who can be mentors for you in the field. And often they have like recruiting fairs where you can engage with employers. So if you're looking for internships and things like that. Some of these also, I believe, particularly like Girls Who Code, do activities with high school students as well. So you may find activities in your community or online that you can engage with, especially for something like coding, where anybody can learn coding. As Josh said before, coding is free, so you don't even have to worry about paying for anything like that. But these are other organizations to keep on your radar. And again, if you were interested in this from a engineering perspective, like what types of engineers, I mentioned computer science, there's computer engineering, electrical engineering, but also things like operations research, information engineering, and industrial engineering. These are fields that deal with data and analytics and optimization. So AI is going to be huge for them. Industrial engineering is, maybe kind of a confusing name if you see it, but basically what it refers to is optimizing things like supply chains and manufacturing. And because it's all optimization, it's actually all about machine learning, like we talked about. Or it's kind of like machine learning, like you did today without the machines. But now that AI is coming into prevalence, that's really going to change that field in terms of making things like logistics more efficient and stuff like that. And so the topics that you might be interested in here, besides machine learning and AI, we talked about algorithms, statistics. So this type of math, if you're interested in this type of math, like the models that you used in your breakout, like we saw like the plots on Excel, that's called regression analysis, and applied mathematics, which is another field that some engineering schools have. If you're wondering what applied mathematicians do, they work on things like this. So at this point, we're very excited about our keynote speaker, who I believe has joined. And so I am going to introduce our keynote presenter for today. We're very pleased to have Mr. Adam Chire. Adam has quite an impressive background. He's the co-founder of Siri, Sentient, and Viv Labs, and a founding member of Change.org. Currently, he's serving as the vice president for AI experience at Airbnb. He got his BA in computer science from Brandeis University and his MS in computer science artificial intelligence from UCLA. He's an inventor, an entrepreneur, an engineering executive, and AI pioneer. And we're very pleased to have him here today to talk about his work, the field of artificial intelligence, and then to answer some of your questions. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Adam Chire, and you can take it away.
Adam, you're on mute.
There we go. I'm
There you
now
go.
ready.
We hear
see
you.
my
All right.
presentation. You can hear me. You can see me. All is good. So today I'm going to talk about two of my favorite topics. One is artificial intelligence. Obviously, we're entering an incredible time and age. AI is having breakthroughs that we've never seen before. And the second topic I'm going to speak about is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship has been, for me, one of the most fulfilling career paths that I could possibly imagine. So as mentioned, I've started 4 companies: Siri, Viv, Change.org, and Sentient. And just recently, less than a month ago, the news broke that another of my companies is called Game Planner AI. We were still in stealth mode, no trace of what we were working on, and yet we exited to Airbnb. So I'm now working at Airbnb for the last month, which is fantastic. So entrepreneurs, the world needs you. I'm going to start with this photo. When I look at myself, for you guys, it might look like a normal photo, but when I look into my eyes of this photo, I can tell I'm just feeling stuck. I was at a juncture point in my life. I was working at this job and I wasn't fulfilled. And I had this sense of almost hopelessness. I'm in my 40s. I've never been to business school. I'm only one person out of 6.5 billion people. You can tell how fast the world is growing. Today, we're over 8.1 billion people. And I had this feeling, I can't change anything. What can one person do? And what I did was I applied my greatest secret. This is going to be, if you're going to take away one tool, one thing to try in your schoolwork, your life, this is the greatest secret that led to everything that I've ever accomplished. I call it the verbally stated goal. And here's how it works. The first thing is I have this philosophy that life is short. We're here for, I know you're young, seems like it's forever, but we only have a short time in this planet, and our obligation is to make the most of it. And so if you think about it like a book, your life will have different chapters. Maybe now you're in high school, soon you'll be in college, and you'll be out of college, graduating. Each of these are chapters. And the question is, what do you do to maximize your potential at each chapter change? And here's how I have approached this. Since my first verbally stated goal was graduating from college a long time ago, and I've used this ever since. So what I do is I focus on the core emotion, the core feeling that's in my chest at that time. What am I feeling? Am I frustrated? Am I excited? Am I dreaming of something? I take those feelings and I turn it into words. I know this sounds kind of artsy fartsy or something, but this has worked for me. And then the second thing I do is once I have that feeling and I've created this mission statement that captures that feeling and has this actionable idea, I tell everyone I meet, this is what I'm going to do, even if I have no idea how I'm going to do it. So that has been the single greatest tool I've used in my life, and it's helped me through school, through work, and through entrepreneurship. I'm going to give you a concrete example so you can get a feel for what I meant. In 2006, I was working on one of the largest AI projects in US government history. It was $400 million. We had 28 subcontractors, and yet I wasn't happy. This was my state. The two emotions I was feeling was I was feeling like stifled. I had all these ideas I wanted to create, but because of the politics of this project, I wasn't able to get out the ideas I wanted. So I had this feeling of being stifled. And I felt that what we were working on, it was going to produce lots of research papers, but when the project was over, it's research code, no one's going to use it, no one's going to read the papers, it won't have impact. And that was the second thing. So at the end of 2006, I took these two emotions, I turned them into words, and this was my verbally stated goal. I want to create 5 projects. I want to explode with creativity that can impact users in 2007. And then my follow-on idea was in 2008, one major, one minor. I'm going to take the best 2 ideas and actually start them as companies, bring them out into the world after I've kind of built 5, tried them out, shown people, learned from it. So not the recommended way to go about it. No entrepreneur school or book will tell you do multiple things at once. They always say focus, focus, focus. Just shows that there are multiple ways to get to success. My day job, well, I'll tell you a little bit about it. My day job was a company called Siri. So Siri was your first virtual personal assistant. It was built by a small team. There's myself and my two co-founders, Doug Kitlaus and Tom Gruber. And we just launched a free app in the App Store, one of, at the time, 2 million apps. But it was pretty cool. You could take it, click a button, and say, Siri, get me a cab. Siri, buy me 2 tickets to the Warriors game tonight. Siri, book a hotel reservation, a concert ticket, etc. It was an actionable, we called it a do engine. We said, if you want to go to a web page, go to a search engine. If you want to get something done, send me the book from Amazon, the latest Michael Lewis book. Boom, on its way, right, in one step. So the small team launched a free app. And about 2 weeks later, actually, this app, people started downloading it. This was one of my proudest moments. Steve Wozniak is co-founder of Apple. He was the technology guy who started Apple Computer. And if you ask him today, what's your favorite app of all time? He'll say Siri. Not the Siri that's in our iPhone, but the original app. It was so much more powerful. It could do so many more things, and I loved it. My favorite app of all time. So Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple. For me as an entrepreneur, I'm so grateful because we put so much heart and love and thought into that app. It's one of my proudest moments. But apparently, lots of people downloaded it. He was not the only Steve to try the app. 2 weeks later, we get a phone call unannounced, and we hear a voice. Hey, it's Steve. What you doing? Want to come over to my house tomorrow? And we're like, Steve Jobs, CEO and co-founder of Apple, is calling us. And our first question, how'd you get this number? Because one thing you may not know, Siri means secret in Swahili. And when we started this company, it was kind of fun and kitschy, but we started out as a stealth company. Our logo was a ninja, and our slogan was stay low, move fast. You know, we were having fun with it. But there was no website, there was no phone number, no address. And yet Steve Jobs was calling us. He says, come over to my house. I'd like to buy your company. We said, thank you. We're flattered, not interested. Goodbye. And we left. But obviously, that's not the end of the story. Steve was a persistent man. He called us 30 days in a row at one point, and eventually managed to convince us that we could change the world more with Apple than without. And so we ended up working at Apple. And so when entrepreneurs hear this story, they're like, wow, I want to be an entrepreneur. So easy. You just launch a free app, February 2010. 3 months later, 2.5 months later, voila, you're working at Apple on one of the most important projects ever. Life is good. It's an overnight success. But I just want to give you a little bit of insight behind that overnight success. It actually took 17 years of work. From my first version of Siri, this is the first prototype in 1993. I had this little tablet computer, sort of like an iPad. You could do handwriting recognition. You could talk to it and do speech recognition. And you could delegate services to this dynamic, growing set of capabilities. As new services came online, any computer in the world, what you could do would expand. In many ways, it was more advanced than the version that we shipped 17 years later. But the lesson for you is when you pick a project to work on, like Siri, pick something you really care about, that you're passionate about. It may take longer than you expect to actually turn it into a success. It took me 17, 18 years before we launched. But, you know, keep plugging away and you can get there. So what happened after that? We launched, we sold to Apple. 18 months later, working closely with Steve Jobs, we launched the Apple version of Siri embedded in every iPhone at the time, or the iPhone 4S, every iPhone 4S at the time. The very next day after Siri launch, Steve Jobs actually passed away. Um, he, he was an incredible person. You may be too young to remember, but he reinvented so many fields. He transformed computers to have a graphical interface and a mouse. He managed to transform music. We used to listen to these records in order. Now you could just have the iPod and you could listen to songs and buy individual songs digitally. No one had done that before. He revolutionized movies with Pixar doing the first computer-generated graphics for movies, and so much more. The iPhone with mobile. You could also argue that Steve saw the coming wave of AI, which we'll talk about in a little bit, before anyone else. In 2010, when he bought Siri, no one knew what the words AI meant. We hadn't used the phrase artificial intelligence commercially in more than 20 years. And yet he saw the coming, he bought Siri and really, you could argue, kicked off the AI revolution. So what happens? Siri comes out. This is the original advertising. The next 6 months were the most successful 2 quarters of any technology company in the history of the world at that time. It broke every record in profit and margins and sales. And Apple doubled its stock price and became the most valuable company in the history of the world, passing Exxon for #1 most valued company. And so this one little AI feature can actually really matter to a lot of people, to business, et cetera. And we'll talk a little more about that. All right, here's a second lesson that you can try for your projects, for your dreams. Whenever I start a new project, a new entrepreneurial idea, I always try to sit back and say, what would success look like? Let me visualize success. And so in doing so, I'll give you a story. We had just started Siri. So it was me, Doug, Tom, and maybe 1 or 2 others. We're like 5 people. And we were building this amazing thing that was going to transform the world and allow you to talk to computers and talk to phones. And it'll be amazing. Conversational, big dreams. So I walked into an Apple store one day, and the iPhone had just come out recently. And they had apps, all of the most popular apps of the biggest, most successful tech companies in the world: Facebook, Twitter, Google, Pandora, Skype. These were companies with tens of thousands of people, PhDs, hardware, machines, customers. We were 5 little people in this ragtag startup. But you ask yourself, what does success look like? So mustering up all of my gumption, all of my, dream, I said, someday, right there on the wall of an Apple store will be a Siri icon next to all of these big companies. For me, that was the biggest, most amazing thing I could imagine. You know how successful Siri would have to be listed there next to Google and Facebook and Twitter? Crazy. So that was my picture, and I did this mental image snapshot in my mind. Fast forward about 2 years later, Siri is now launching, maybe 2.5, launching on the iPhone. Of course, I had to go to an Apple store to see, are people trying it? Do they like it? My thing is finally out. And this is what I saw. Coming into that same store, I saw a sign next to the front door that said, "Introducing Siri." And there was a plasma display with Siri use cases rotating on a loop. And it was, my mind just blew. I remember dreaming of wanting to be one icon out of 100 on a store. And now I approach the same store and we are literally the front door. We're the front door of the store. And this type of experience has happened to me over and over and over again in my life, where I dream the biggest thing that I can do. I go after it. I work. I somehow put out this verbally stated goal. with no idea how I'm going to accomplish it. And usually life comes around and says, remember that picture? How about this? Feast on this. And life has surprised me in a positive way many, many times if you put in the work and the time. Let me talk about idea number 3. So this is Ben Rattray, who is the co-founder and CEO of Change.org. If you don't know Change.org, please take a look. It's the world's largest petition platform with well over 500 million members today. And so it's really pretty easy. If you see something wrong in the world, you start a petition with 3 elements. You say, I want this person or organization to make this change, and here's why. And if people agree, 500 million members can see it and can click on it and add their voice, add their vote to not only your proposed problem that you've identified, but you've proposed a solution, an actual change. I want this person or this organization to do this thing for these reasons. So you have a proposed solution to a real problem. And real good things happen. Every day there are victories. Go on change.org to see, and go on change.org to find things that should become victories that you can support by the mere act of just clicking in a few seconds on something that is a good idea, a good solution. So the lesson, how did we get there to 500 million members and the world's largest petition platform? It wasn't straightforward. And so the lesson that I share with you is follow the data, and you have to instrument and adapt, instrument and adjust what you're doing. So when we started Change.org, this was one of my side projects in 2007, 2006, we actually started it. We had so many ideas. We thought we're going to have Change.org be the discussion forum where people can talk about what should be done in the world. We did donations for every nonprofit in America. And when you donated, you would post on social media and said, I gave $100. Your network might see it and try to support as well. And maybe that $100 donation raises $1,000, right? It snowballs. We tried politicians. There are multiple ways to impact the world. We said, if you could go find your politician, because most people don't know who are their local politicians, and contact them, you could say, I need this thing. I believe in this thing. This should happen. So we implemented the first click to call. So you literally could click in the web browser. The phone would ring on the politician's desk. It would find your politician, find their phone number, and make a virtual call where you could now say, I care about this. And if you could get your 10 friends to do it, it had huge impact. We ran a campaign when Barack Obama became president. He ran on this platform that he was going to be the hope and change president, and he wanted to listen to the community. So we ran a poll with the most popular ideas for change in America that we presented to the Obama campaign. And we got a little boost at the time because he happened to choose change.gov as his government website. And a lot of people got confused about change.gov and change.org. So we got a little temporary bump in popularity. We had celebrity change makers. Bill Cosby here was one of them. Boy, that doesn't age too well. We ran the largest social job board. When the economy crashed in 2009, 2010, we said, go back to work. So many people were out of work. Go back to work, not just for a job for money, but that could have social impact. So for socially conscious jobs, we were in the largest job board in America. We had a gifting platform. You could for holidays, you could donate 1 square meter of rainforest saved, or 1 pet out from an adoption home, or 1 carbon emission, or et cetera. We made it easy to give the gift, 1 tree planted, give the gift of others that would be socially conscious. So we tried a million things. The one thing we did well was we instrumented everything and we watched the numbers. We watched the data. What are people doing? What are people clicking on? What are they using? And when we came across petitions, you can see we had a little petition button in the corner of this very complicated site. It started to do a little bit better from the metrics point of view. So we moved it a bit more to the middle. We simplified, started a petition, and over time, we became the world's platform of change. Petition was the only thing Change.org does now. But obviously, that's not how we dreamed about it. That's not how we set out to do it initially. So follow the data and adapt and let people lead you to your solution. And here's the result. If I round up to the nearest million, this was our timeline. 2007, we had 1 million users, rounded up. 2008, 1 million. 2009, 1 million. We're trying everything. We're creating ideas, launching version after version of our website. 2010, 1 million. Then all of a sudden, 2011, 10 million, 25 million, 50 million, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million, and on we go. And today we're over 500 million members. So follow the data, it can lead you to big things. So I believe in entrepreneurship. Maybe that's something you can consider in your life. Every great idea, every big company started out as the idea of one person, maybe 2 or 3 people, dreaming. And so if this is an area, a path that you can apply your skills and knowledge to, and you choose to go in that direction, you might ask, where can I learn about entrepreneurship? And what should I work on? So one way to approach that is, well, let me emulate someone who's been successful. Let me emulate the greatest entrepreneur of all time. But who would that be? So I set out and I said, well, the computer, that was so revolutionary. Who is the inventor of the computer? I'm like, oh, maybe it was Steve Jobs, or this guy, Bill Gates, the guys who really took computers, made them personal, invented Windows, the graphical user interface, the mouse, the whole paradigm we know. Man, that was a big one. Well, what else was important? The web was huge. Hyperlinks and multimedia documents distributed around the world and connecting all of the computers together to let you compute using knowledge and services and information from anywhere in the world. Web has got to be the biggest thing. So who was the creator of the web? Wasn't it, I don't know, Tim Berners-Lee? Or social networks. That has billions of people actually collaborating and working together. That's a big idea. Maybe, wasn't it Zuckerberg or something who invented social networks? Video conferencing, like we went through a pandemic. We do so much online, just like we're doing this moment. It's bringing together people. Well, who did video must have been the Skype guys, maybe? Or, and real-time document editing. That is transformative. That allows people to collaborate and work. Well, what if I told you that there was one person who was the inventor and creator of everything, all of this, pretty much everything that we use today? The Windows, multiple Windows, graphical user interface, the mouse, interactive personal computing, hyperlinks, the web, social networking, video conferencing, real-time documenting. His name was Doug Engelbart. He's a great person to learn from. You've probably never heard of him. Even those who are in computer science, most people don't know him. And yet he was the creator of all of this technology and far more. He did this in the 60s. You can actually look up his original demonstration by invoking the magic words, the mother of all demos. You type that into Google, you will find a 90-minute video. It's a little dry, it's grainy, it's black and white. The projector cost $1 million. You couldn't go down to to Amazon or Fry's or your nearest computer store and just buy one, because computing didn't exist. This was an age when people programmed computers with punch cards, paper punch cards you would feed in, wait a week, out would come another punch card, and you'd read the answer. And he created the first interactive, multimodal, graphical interfaces. He had the patent on the mouse. He created the first distributed hyperlink document system. You can see it all by looking at this demos. So how did he create and why did he create so much technology that was so important and impacted so many people? He said that someday there are going to be global, complex issues that's going to face the world. And unless we get better at solving problems collectively, together, we are not going to survive, right? It's not like penicillin, which you'll just, one person in a lab will solve a global problem. In order to solve things like pandemics, like climate change, like hunger, poverty, water issues, plastic, pollution, war. There's so many big issues. We're not going to, one person isn't just going to snap and invent something and make it go away. It's going to be about social collaboration. The world is going to have to get its act together to solve these problems itself. And this is a challenge, and this is a challenge that I've worked on through change.org, and many of the things I'm working on. My last company, Game Planner, which just sold, is in this space, but we need people like yourselves to be tackling these big problems. Doug not only gave us technical solutions, mouse and collaborative editing and video conferencing, etc. He gave us social ideas. He thought that computers could augment collective intelligence, could augment our ability to think globally and together about big problems. And he talked about social constructs. You can learn a lot about his work, bootstrapping, Kodiak, dynamic knowledge repository. There are 50 companies in just the work that he did, just waiting to be created out of some of the ideas that he had created for us in the 60s. So I think it's a huge repository of ideas. If you're wondering, what should I work on as an entrepreneur? Go study this one. Learn a little bit about him and how he approached solving problems, and maybe you can bring new ideas at a time when the world really needs it. So I expected you to say that AI would just solve our problems for us. Obviously, for the biggest problems, AI won't solve everything. We're going to have to do it ourselves. We need to organize and collaborate and communicate and debate and discuss, and it needs to be knowledge. But AI is one of the most important tools humanity has ever created. I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. So on the left sidebar, I'll give you a quick summary of what's happened in the last, 12, 13 years in AI. The short story, February 2010, Siri app comes out. Then all of a sudden, like a dam about to burst, the little drip, 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 and now AI is everywhere. IBM comes out with a program called Watson that can play Jeopardy better than any human alive. 2011, Apple Siri launches, and all of a sudden, everyone has their own assistant that they can talk to and will do things for them. The movie Her starting to be made. Google buys 8 robot companies. Like 8 robot companies, really? Tesla comes out with its first self-driving mode, semi-automated self-driving car. 2016, Go, which has a huge number of possibilities. It's in a massive search space, and it was a challenge problem that, yes, we have a computer that can beat a chess playing program, but Go, impossible. Go actually fell, meaning the best humans in the world couldn't compete with AlphaGo, program from Google's DeepMind division. 2017, AI starts to be applied to cancer, and it shows that AI can act, an AI plus a human together can share working together collaboratively can produce outcomes that are 30% better at diagnosing malignant, whether a tumor is malignant or benign. Saves lives, saves money, saves trauma. This was the first time AI plus a human in medical field was starting to get really great results, better than you could do from a human alone. And now, 2020, something launched called GPT-3, and that is going to change the world more than any of the AI before. And let me talk about large language models briefly. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've played with ChatGPT, etc. So let me just say a little bit about what it is and how it works. So one way to think of it is as a super word predictor, right? If I say, John hit the, and I said, finish this phrase, well, there's probably a list of words where maybe ball is the most popular, wall is the second most popular, and down, penguin's probably on the list, but it's way down on the list, right? So these large language models have been trained on text to be kind of like a super autocomplete. You give it a phrase, it'll give you the next word, and the next word, and the next word after that. It does it by looking at statistics. And there was one of the breakthrough ideas, which is kind of counterintuitive, is that there's a parameter called temperature. So if you put temperature all the way up, that means it's going to try to be as accurate as possible, but it loses creativity. It means when you say, John hit the, if temperature is maximally set, 100%, it's going to choose the most likely word at every point in time. But researchers found out that if you have a variable that you can say some of the time, don't choose the most likely, choose some other words, you actually get much higher quality results. So that's one of the key ideas that large language models came up with. There were others around attention models, learning which words really impact words. So it's not just a small window like John hit the 3 words before. If you have a much larger context window and the ability to know what's relevant, you can actually do much better. And these transformer architectures with better attention models were a key breakthrough. So we have a system that can generate text. Well, what would you do with that? You can do a lot. You can think of language as kind of the operating system of humans. We do a lot using language. We think using language, at least partially. We communicate using language. We learn using language. And so if you have a system that actually masters language, there's an unbelievably large set of applications you can apply to it. And if you look back on this list, what's different about GPT-3 and the whole crop of large language models is that whereas previously, most of these applications were very focused, machine learned to just, if you're a self-driving car, do I turn the wheel left or do I turn the wheel right? If I'm go, what is the one place that I put my next piece? For cancer, let me try to diagnose benign or malignant. And so they were trained models very narrowly targeted one problem. With large language models, it is not trained specifically for any one problem or even one field, but it has a very broad and general application. So let me give you a few examples. These are outdated a bit, but this is 2020. No one knew about large language models then, really, before ChatGPT. So I started interacting with the system and I typed in, what is your favorite animal? And it came back and said, my favorite animal is a dog. I go, that's pretty good, but I can see it's just kind of auto-completing what is the most likely, most probable words coming. It doesn't really understand what it's saying. It's just generating text. I typed why, because dogs are loyal and friendly. I'm like, that's a pretty good answer. Probabilities really work. Then I typed, are there any animals with 3 legs? And said, no, there are no animals with 3 legs. Now, not exactly accurate, but I get where it's coming from. Why don't animals have 3 legs? Now, this is something I'm sure is not written down on any page. There's no web page or book that says animals don't have 3 legs because of this reason. So it's a very rare, sparse, it's not even true. So when I saw this answer, animals don't have 3 legs because they would fall over, I was shocked. It was a shocking moment. I go, that is, A, it's not accurate precisely, but did it just learn physics and gravity and you know, I'm like, this was not something that was just written down and retrieved like a search engine. So it started to have this glimmer that it somehow understands applications of the world, how the world works. Maybe it's not just generating text from popular words. There's actually an understanding model there. Then I started to see it being applied to things like code. Now, code, I'm like, no way. There's no way that you could just generate the most probable token and have it write a program that works. And yet someone did this. You type in what you want, a button that looks like a watermelon, and it generated the web code to do this. A button for every rainbow. Here's the CSS styling to generate that image. A table of the richest countries in the world with the columns, name and GDP. Boom, there, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, how is it writing these programs on its own? And then images came. January 2022, DALL-E 2 started doing image generation. Again, I'm sure you guys are all aware, but just going historically, at the time, if you typed in an astronaut riding a horse as a pencil drawing, now again, there are no images of astronauts riding horse, likely. This was a brand new synthesized image. I was like, whoa, there's a lot to like put it all together. You have to understand how legs work and occlusion works and how things move. I typed in photorealistic style. Here's the same prompt, but with a slightly different feel. I'm like, this is crazy. It understands how legs, cloth wrinkles, etc. Now, here's just a challenge for you guys. Right now, in your mind, try to come up with an image of this phrase: a rabbit detective sitting on a park bench and reading a newspaper in a Victorian setting. Rabbit detective sitting on a park bench, reading a newspaper in a Victorian setting. Is the image you came up with as good as this? This is pretty great. I'm like, and here's my favorite all-time image prompt. A bowl of soup that looks like a monster knitted out of wool. I can't even like conceive. My puny brain can't even conceive of what this image would be. A bowl of soup that looks like a monster knitted out of wool. And then I saw this and I'm like, that is genius. Genius. Like I couldn't have even conceived of it. It's creative, it's accurate, it's beautiful. So anyway, there's some examples. As you know, image generation is greatly evolving. So I moved forward. This is from March 2003. Midjourney 5 is now starting to get these very complex, realistic images with lighting and complexity and realism. Even the fingers are the right number of fingers, which was one of the hallmarks of how AI frequently made mistakes. And then 1 year ago, this month, ChatGPT launched. It went mainstream faster than any technology in the history of the world. So if you take the number of users by time, over time, you see Netflix, Twitter, Instagram. Siri was probably in there. It was pretty fast. But ChatGPT was 5 days to 1 million users and 2 months to 100 million users. It's almost a straight line on an exponential curve. It's crazy, right? Everyone was trying it. And then, of course, GPT didn't, so ChatGPT was version 3.5. But then in March, they quickly came out with GPT-4. And if you compare the size, GPT-3 is estimated to have 175 billion parameters. Relative, GPT-4 is now at 100 trillion parameters, right? Parameters can be thought of the memory space, the computational space of the compute. And it's continuing. By the time, you guys graduate from school, we'll have GPT-5 or GPT-6, and they're going to be increasingly bigger and smarter. So there was a study done comparing ChatGPT, which is version 3.5, versus the 4.0, excuse me, on a set of human level tests. And these are going to be comparisons of this. So they took the legal bar exam. This is the exam that legal students need to get into law school. And when I say 10% for 3.5 versus 90% for 4.0, this is not how much it's scored. It's relative to all human test takers. So 3.5 was able to beat 10% of human test takers taking the bar exam. 4.0 was able to do better than 90% of students taking the bar exam to get into law school. These are lawyer. Bar exam is to, once you've graduated law school, these are lawyers trying to pass the bar exam. The LSAT was to get into school, so 40% for 3.5, 80% of candidates for the LSATs. GPT-4 beat. Math, you can see the difference, 70 to 89%. Verbal, GRE verbal. A machine did better on the GRE's verbal than I did, I'm embarrassed to say. AP macroeconomics, calculus, and even wine. If you want to have a good wine pairing, on the certified sommelier test, GPT-4 beat 86% on the theory aspects of wine. Can't actually taste together, taste the wine, obviously. And just this weekend, I think there was a milestone event that occurred, and it's for the first time an AI, an LLM, has solved or beat a math problem that had remained unsolved to date, meaning it couldn't just look up a solution because no solution existed. Humans did not know how to solve this. This is a problem where it's how do you generate the largest number of points where you can guarantee that there are not 3 points in a row on any straight line. It did the approach they used to solve this problem. Google was working on it using something they call functional search. They set up the problem in Python code, and then they left the middle part, which was the proof, to do it, and they allowed an LLM to generate code, and they did iterations, and that code solved the problem and actually was the proof of a math problem that has remained unsolved to this day, and it's huge applications. They also applied it to call the so-called bin packing problem, which is how do you maximally and optimally put things into bins of various sizes and shapes, which has both of these problems have huge application in the real world. So for the first time, AI has taken humanity beyond on a real world math and theoretical math problems. I think it's a huge step. So coming to the end of the talk, talked a lot about AI. It's going to change everything. However, there are flaws. We saw that there's the temperature parameter introduces randomness. Imagine if you were saying 2 + 2 = predict the next word. Obviously, most of the time, it's going to say 4. 2 + 2 = 4. But with a temperature parameter, every once in a while, it might say 5 or 3.9 or something along those lines. So accuracy remains a problem, and it's not something you can just fix, right? This trade-off between creativity and accuracy is troubling. There's something called hallucinations. It's a balance. You have to think about AI as generating stories to please the user, but the stories are not always true, and accuracy is a big, big issue that will not be easily fixed. Transparency is a problem. If you say, AI, that's an amazing solution, how did you come up with it? It will tell you, but then you hit the refresh button and it'll tell you something different. And every time you hit the refresh button, its explanation for what it did will be different. And you'd be like, wait a second, are you just making it up? And of course, that's what it's doing. It's not telling you how it actually solved the problem. It can't. It doesn't understand that, but it can generate plausible answers that might please you as a story. But it's not necessarily truthful. So you don't have a clear idea of how it was able to achieve its tasks. And the last thing I'll mention, we're at an age, probably the last time where most content that you consume, the books you read, the articles you read, the images you see, today, most of what you read is still human generated. Very soon, the world is going to change. Most content will be either AI created or partially AI created. And that's going to be a crazy, crazy time. How does AI train when all content is AI generated? You get into this cyclical piece. I actually believe that authentic human experience is going to become more valuable. Once all of this AI floods things, you're going to actually care more about the provenance of the information, who said it and why, the transparency, the accuracy. You'll want people who have lived and learned and failed and improved. AI is just kind of generating text. So in summary, my 5 ideas for you, verbally stated goals. Feel your emotion, what's important to you, shut out what everyone's telling you, get that core of your need at this time of your life. It'll be different later. Turn it into words and then put it out there verbally, commit to it, and people will start to help you when you say, I will do this. Visualize success as you embark on a journey. Imagine what's the greatest success it could be, and then work hard to beat your biggest dreams. Follow the data, whatever you do, keep track of the data, instrument, learn, and adapt. If you don't know what to work on, I've given you one idea. Go help humanity solve the biggest problems. We really, really need more thought and work on this. There's not enough being done. How? If you don't know how to solve the world's biggest problems, go research Doug Engelbart and his approach to augmenting collective intelligence among humans. And try applying AI. It is going to be a tool that will transform generative AI, large language models. It's a tool that will transform humanity's abilities to think and work. So in conclusion, in my 40s, I asked the question, what can one person do anyway? And the only thing that's different some 15 plus years later, now I believe that an entrepreneur can change everything. And you can change everything. The world needs you to help. And that's my talk. Entrepreneurs, the world needs you.
Wow. Absolutely amazing presentation. I know you all are clapping it up for Adam right now. It's mind-blowing. One thing I thought about is I'm a space geek, so I'm thinking, can artificial intelligence uncover the mysteries of the universe? That would be just profound. So you said something, you just ended with this, that it was 17 years before you knew Siri would be what it is now.
Yes.
So how did you just keep going? How did you keep persevering when no one saw the value in what you were developing?
Yeah, I have a day job I always try to do a good job on my day job, my classwork, etc. But I always have passion projects. I always have side projects. I remember when I first went to college, I said, I'm going to major in computer science. And I got there on my first day and I went up, I said, are you a computer science major? Like, that's what you focus on. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, great. What's the coolest project you've created? Not your coursework and stuff they've asked you to do, but what have you created on your own spare time? And they looked at me like I had two heads. They're like, no, we just do what the teacher says. And for me, everything that I've ever done that I'm proud of didn't start because someone said, do this, or here's what I'm paying you to do. I followed my passions and my creativity and I tried to create something on the side and then make it my day job. Try to figure out how can I get paid doing that. Change.org, no one asked me to do it. Siri, nobody asked me to do it. In 1993, we did not even have a web browser yet. Just to put it in context, my first web browser was after 93. But I said, someday the world is going to have computers around the world with content and services you want to access. We're going to need a way to discover those services and to interact with them. And the idea of hyperlinked documents to do that, it never occurred to me. I thought everyone would have an assistant and you would just say, I want to know this or do that. And the assistant would take your request, understand it, route it to the right machines, gather the information, perform the actions, learn, help you get it done. So I just had this idea and I went after building it. And over time, I still thought it was a good idea. Even when the web came out, I'm like, I still want to get things done. I can't do it. It's too hard clicking and browsing and scrolling and searching. I just want to say, get this done. So for me, follow your passions, have side projects. You know, as someone said, coding is free. Like there's so many tools, there's so many things. As long as you can just get a computer, anything you can dream of, you can make come true. And so for me, it wasn't an effort. I wasn't trying to do Siri because I wanted to sell it or, you know, I just was curious. I thought this would be cool. I think this is the way it should be. And that's always been the guiding path. And if someone pays me, all the better. If someone uses it, even better. But it's just, I'm following my interests.
That's amazing. So how do you anticipate what's next, right? Because you so many different companies, you've had to choose like, what is this next technological field? I think some of us adults are thinking, man, I hope he tells us so we can invest in it. But I think the students are thinking, man, you know, what field, like what should I focus on?
Yeah,
right.
Great. That's an excellent question. So one of the things I try to do, and I didn't talk about it in this talk, but I use a process I call trends and triggers. And it's allowed me to see the future. And if you can see the future, it's like you can buy a lottery ticket in advance, right? So let me give you a few examples. In 2004, which for me was the 10th anniversary of the web, I said, I'm going to make 10 predictions for the next 10 years of the web. I wonder where the web is going. And I was interested in the web, like it was exploding around us, but I made 10 predictions. Some of them were crazy, but some of them really worked out, some didn't. But I took a problem that there was a little bit of interest, but it wasn't quite clear. So one of my predictions was social networking is going to take off. In 2004, it was not a thing, right? There was LinkedIn, but that was kind of niche. The largest social network was Friendster, had 13 million, and Google had this thing called Orkut, which was slightly popular in Brazil, but it was not a thing. But I'm like, no, I really, so I studied it, I analyzed it, I took this question of is social network going to happen or not? Today, you could say, is augmented reality, you know, we don't walk around with goggles on our heads, but we see like it's beginning. Is it going to go mainstream or not? There's a question. Cryptocurrency, is it going to replace regular currency? We have some cryptocurrency. Is it going to go mainstream or not? NFTs, they were a big thing for a while. And Web3, is it mainstream or not? And so whenever you have these questions, my view is I study it and I form an opinion, and that becomes my trend. So in 2004, I said, I believe, number one, data is going to move to the cloud. We didn't have that then. Like data was like, we would still watch movies on these DVD things that Netflix would mail us in the mail, right? I said, no, it's all going to move to the cloud. I said, machine learning is going to take off. I said, social networking is going to take off. I said, there's going to be a revolution at the interface. These were four of my predictions. And um, and then once I believed it, I waited. And when I had these trends, four different trends. And when I saw a trigger moment, I'm like, oh my God, now I know it's going to come true. It's time to act. So for the trigger moment for me for change.org, MySpace in 2006, a year and a half after my prediction, became the #1 most trafficked website in the US.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, social networking is coming. 2007, Facebook finally starts to take off, et cetera. So, but I saw right at 2006, MySpace became #1. I'm like, here we go. It's time to start a social network for social change. And I say change.org was the first. There were many afterwards, but I got there first because I had a belief. I saw a trigger. I acted. 2007, the iPhone comes out, and I say, oh my gosh, this is going to be huge. I've predicted it's the revolution at the interface I've been waiting for. Everyone else said, oh no, this will never work. This is a fad. The iPhone will fail because only a telecommunications company can make something as complicated as a phone, a Motorola, AT&T. Apple makes this little iPod music player. It's going to fail. I said, I've been waiting for this. This is going to be huge. What will the world look like 2 years from now? I said, every handset manufacturer and telecommunications company will be desperate to compete with Apple because in 2 years, they will have won the game. So I said, what are the flaws of the iPhone? Well, the screen is small. It's hard to type on that soft keyboard, and bandwidth is really slow. You would click on a web link. It would take a minute on 3G to come around. I go, if you're going to buy something that's 10 clicks, 10 minutes, no one's going to do that. What if you could take the Siri idea I've been playing with for 15 years, and in one step, I could say, get me 2 tickets for the concert ticket, and boom, 1 round trip, no typing, small screen, doesn't matter. Here's your tickets to the Warriors game tonight. That would be better. So we built Siri predicting where the world was going. And then we were there first. There were no voice assistants before Siri. There were a ton after Alexa, Cortana, Google Assistant, right? So trends and triggers is a tool I use in entrepreneurship. Anyone can do it. Pick an area that you're interested in, find something that it's kind of a little bit interesting, but it's not yet widespread, and analyze it, study, talk to people, and then say, I believe X. And then ask yourself, what's the trigger moment that will confirm my prediction or reject? Oh, that one didn't work out. Okay, not true. But if you see something, you go, now I know it's time to act and go start your company, take it into the real world.
That is so good, Adam. That's excellent. With all these different things you have your hands in, some of them just game changers. Like, how do you balance? Like, what do you do in your spare time outside of trying to save the world?
So I go through different phases. You can't always be intense 100 times. You need a little bit of downtime or you're going to burn out. But I'll give you an example of how I did it when I was in 2007, 8. I had 3 companies started at the same time. Siri was my day job. Sentient, the world's first large-scale machine learning company, and was my night job, my side project, and change.org was my side hustle. So what I did was I took my week and I carved it out. I literally drew out my calendar and I said, here's what I care about. I care about family. I care about sports. And I've got these 2 companies I need to balance and I need some downtime. So I woke up every day at 5 a.m. on a weekday. From 5 to 7, 2 hours, I worked on Company B, my side project. I took a train for 1 hour. I purposefully started my company an hour away. So I took a train every day to commute, but I had a desk and Wi-Fi, and that was flex time. I could use the train time for either Company A or Company B, whichever needed it more. So 2 hours on B, 1 hour of flex time. I would get to work, it would be 8 to 5:30. Well, I was Company A, my day job. Take an hour of flex time home. So I get home, it's about 7 o'clock at night. But right there, I have 10 hours a week on Company B, a good 40, 50 hours on Company A, and I have 10 hours of flex time just during the week. Then on weekends, so I get home at 7 o'clock, I'm off, right? It's time for dinner. I want to help my son with his homework, relax, watch a little bit TV. Then I let myself sleep till 6 on Saturday and Sundays. My family gets up late. So I had 3 hours, 6 to 9 in the morning, where I could do Company B time. I play basketball every Sunday.
Okay.
Need to do that. And then weekends were mostly free. But by doing that, I managed to literally carve out and balance my week. And then I just motored. I just got into this habit, got into this rhythm, and for 2.5 years, cranked. And it was one of the most intense times, but I accomplished probably more during that period than I ever have. And, I didn't have the switching costs of, oh, what should I do now? It was, a rhythm, a habit, and that's how I balanced my time.
Absolutely amazing. Um, Adam, you said that change.org was your side hustle. You must have your brain is AI. I mean, come on, man. That's your side hustle? Can we clap it up for Adam Chire one more
Well,
time?
I can't really take too much credit for that. I just want to give Ben Rattray was the CEO and founder of Change. I'm proud to have been there right at the beginning, to have launched the first version of the website and help. But Change is an incredible project, but very proud to be at the beginning, but can't take most of the success credit for that.
Well, maybe you and I see each other on a basketball court one day. I'm a huge basketball fan as well. I'm just gonna highlight you real quick, just some things, some nuggets that we learned. I looked online, I saw you also have some skills in magic. So I called this the magic of the mission. Something very powerful that we all can speak to. It's that life is short and make the most of it. I heard that throughout the presentation. Just seize the moment and never give up. 17 years, 17 years, and you just never gave up. You have to see success. You got to visualize it. Unbelievable. Use your gift to be a gift. I love that with change.org, that you can use STEM in order to improve other people's lives. I know with AI, I mean, even from a mental and emotional health standpoint, the number one thing people ask Siri is, or say to him is, do you love me, right? I mean, there's some emotional impact, behavioral impact that you have with that technology. I love to follow the data because I'm an engineer geek. And then you got to have passion projects, right? You got to pursue your passion over money, over all these other things. So thank you so much for giving us this time. We know it's not easy to get a chunk of your time. We hope to see you again with engineering tomorrow. Trust that you've made a huge, huge impact. I also want to give a huge shout out to James Vendito. Just killed it. I don't know if you got a chance to see some of him, Adam, and just kind of doing his thing. And Amani, our college interns, and Josh. Thank you all so much. And all the students who worked on these catapult projects utilizing data. You are the AI, you are machine learning today. You and your catapult as you use data to improve both accuracy and precision. Adam, you're a dope individual. I'm going to hand it off to Monica to talk about our next steps. Did you have anything else you want to say, Adam? I saw you move forward a little bit.
No, thank you, Milton. That was a fantastic summary, and really been a pleasure to have a chance to meet all of you and share some of my stories.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Adam. Thank you to Milton. Thank you to James and everybody at ET. But thank you to the teachers and students who were here live today to experience this. This was a phenomenal way for ET to wrap up this year. We want to say thank you. And don't forget, we have other special lab days coming up next year. You will receive an email from me with information on the next one. It's in January. Have a phenomenal new year. We will see you in the new year. Thank you, everybody, for joining today, and fantastic day. Thanks.